Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Books, Girls, and Purrs. My name is Leslie and I look ridiculous. I thought this would be fun to wear and I don't know how long it's going to stay on my head. It looks very bright. So it's, if you celebrate the holidays, it is the holiday season. And there's other booktubers that are doing lists like favorite book, worst book, that kind of thing. I read so many great books this year. If I did that, this segment would be just too long. So I wanted to do something a little different and just talk about local independent bookstores, as well as like two other shops I wanted to give a special shout out this holiday season. So if you're still shopping, and either if you're local and would like to know about the bookstores around here, or you would like to use their like online functions, that's also a thing. Also, I want to say every single video I have ever since like the beginning, basically, or really early on, I have a little spotlight section in the, I think it's called the details or whatever below. It's like at the bottom, and I always put links to bookshops just to, help spread the word, basically. Alright, so let's get started. There is La Libreria. It's super duper close to me. It's on Washington Boulevard. It's in the mid-city Los Angeles area. And that's a bookstore with books in Spanish geared towards children and middle grade. My daughter knows some Spanish because she's learned in school. My Spanish is terrible. I mean, it's almost non-existent. And so having that bookstore nearby has been like a great resource. So if anybody's either bilingual or in the midst of becoming bilingual, it's a really good resource. Especially when you read the younger grade, it helps comprehension while you're learning. So I want to give them a special shout out. I didn't know they were actually right near me until I attended, I think it's the LA Times Book Festival, and they were representing themselves there, and the ladies there are absolutely lovely. So yeah, check it out. I have my laptop here, so I'll know what I'm talking about. The other bookstore I know about is Sideshow Books. It's a secondhand bookstore, and what's great about their bookstore is, well, there's a couple of things. One of them is when you step in, if the owner's there, or I haven't really run into anybody else, but he'll offer you coffee, which is really cool. It's a really nice perk, and it's a kind of bookstore that is just absolute chaos, as secondhand and thrift store bookstores can be. It's a dangerous place for me because usually I'll step in there if there's something specific I'm looking for, that I know is an older book, so I might have a chance to pick it up there. For instance, there's a couple of my editions of James Baldwin's books that I have that I purchased from there, especially since I know there are just certain authors where I want all their work. It just helps not to break the bank, and especially this holiday season, it's tough for so many. So I just think it's a great resource if you're trying to just really watch your budget and still give a great gift. The other thing about Sideshow Books is they have movie and music events. So that's kind of like their niche into creating community. I haven't been to the movie events. None of the movie events have necessarily like stood out for me, but it's really nice to be there when they're have music playing outside, and everyone's just really friendly, and it's really sweet to have that sense of community. There's Village Well Books and Coffee. That bookstore is fairly new. It's in Culver City. Maybe it's 2 years old. I don't know. What is time anymore? I have no clue. Maybe longer. I'll correct myself below. Village Well Books and Coffee Just to tell you like a little bit of a history behind that location had been so many different businesses, and they just never stuck. I don't know why. Sometimes it feels like the cursed corner. But once Village Well Books and Coffee was put there, it was just like the perfect addition to the Culver City area. If you've ever been to Culver City, there's so many like dense little, it's almost like a little downtown area, right? There's plenty of gift stores, just places to eat. And as I ramble on, I just feel like Village Well Books and Coffee was just like the perfect addition. It's kind of small, but I would say that their curation of the books that they have is just so on point. I mean, I've gone there and been like really wowed by their selection, and bought books that I never even heard of and they had available, and that's high praise for a bookstore that has so little space. So I really appreciate what they do. The staff is always lovely. They have all these like really cute little stickers that I end up like impulse buying one or two. In fact, on my laptop, some of them are from there. I don't know if you could. I got one with Moira from there. I got I think the Boba sticker. Actually, all three of these are, I think, over time, like every visit, I like picked up a sticker. I don't know if you can see. It's very cute. Oh, and also what's great about Village Well is although they do have like a little cafe, that is a nice perk, but they started doing this thing where they have stand-up comedy nights. And you know, I love comedy. Comedy is what brightens my day and keeps me going. So that's just such a cool local perk. On top of that, they had an event, but they live streamed it. So check out their Instagram, because different publishers came to represent their work and talk about what was coming in. And I've never seen publishers do that before at a bookstore, and like do that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was just a really cool little event to watch on Instagram. I really liked it. I don't know, maybe other bookstores do that. I'm just not well informed, but I really enjoyed it. The other spot that is, I'm trying to see, the last bookstore I'm going to talk about is OCTAVIA'S Bookshelf. I've talked about it before. It's in Pasadena, just like on the cusp of Altadena area. If you look up that area, you'll see they're like not too far off north or the mountains. So it's a really beautiful view. The owner, Nikki, had been, what do you call it? I'm going to say it wrong. Is it crowdfunding? Is that the word? And also really just put her own money, a big chunk of her own money, and took the risk to open this brick and mortar bookstore. And the name of the bookstore is a nod to Octavia E. Butler. And so in their store, there'll be one particular shelf that's dedicated to Octavia E. Butler's work. And that really just tips you off to the kind of work that you're going to see there. So it's geared to have authors that are people of color and women. So it's very heavily focused on that. And I love going in there. Everyone's so nice. The owner, Nikki, is so nice. It's such a joy to see her, and also to see how many people have supported the bookstore since it's opened. Her store also has authors show up. There's like a book club event that happens there. I so wish I lived close to it, because I've definitely missed out on some events I've wanted to go to just because it's nowhere near me. But I still wanted to go give them a shout out, because every once in a while I'll use it like a special occasion to show up there. Or if I happen to be in that set of the, just like in that area for whatever reason, I'll make it a point to carve out time to stop by there. Alright, so that's it for the bookstores. In Echo Park, there is, I want to call it Raven Apothecary. It's an indigenous and female-owned apothecary and boutique. My daughter and I love it. What I really like is their price point. They have some really cute earrings, and if you let yourself, you can really get lost in there. And it is a very tiny little space, and they really do the most with what they have. It's just really adorable, and it's always nice to know that I have access to an Indigenous woman-owned shop near me. That's important for me to support. And lastly, I wanted to talk about LA Grind. LA Grind is in Mid-City Los Angeles, and it has a huge, huge spot in my heart. The owner, Vanessa, is so nice. She runs that business, so it's a Black woman-owned business. Not only does she make the coffee, but she also sells coffee beans. And I think you could order via text as well if you happen to be in the area. You'd have to follow her on Instagram because sometimes she has like special events with vendors, which is very helpful during the holidays, and also another way to support POC of the community. And that's been something that's really been delightful to follow along. I don't know how often she's going to do it, but or if it's just a holiday thing. But there's a gentleman, and I can't think of his name, but I'll include it if I can find it, that plays the violin, and he is so talented. Even though I'm really bashful and like have a bit of social anxiety, I love her business and her so much. I have shown up to those things where I feel just, I don't know, I get like anxious. I'm not good at starting conversations, but I will always show up for her events. Something else about Vanessa's business that I thought was really important is that the whole reason she initially started her business is because two gentlemen in Philadelphia were arrested at a Starbucks. They were just going to talk business, and basically it was a case of Black men just existing and being arrested. So it's like going to a coffee shop while Black. That's why they were arrested. And so that really sparked something in her heart to start, she had, what do you call it? What do you call it when you drive around? My brain is so fried. Coffee truck. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the word. She had a coffee truck basically at the beginning, and eventually that's how she was able to put together money for her brick and mortar. And so not only is it a coffee shop, but it's just a safe haven where hopefully people just feel comfortable and safe and won't have to worry about being arrested. So that's a vision for her coffee shop. And so although those are like unfortunate origins, I'm so glad that she's in our community and for all the work that she does, because she really is just such a bright light, and I really love her to pieces. So yeah, so those are all the places that I wanted to highlight for the holiday season. I just thought I'd take the time and talk about 2024 and what I have planned. Let's call this very loosely goals. So I want to change it up just because of time management. I don't know if I'm going to be making TBR videos. I'm still figuring it out, but I thought maybe I'll do like a survey. I want next year to be different. I am going to focus on authors, but not all 12 months. So what I want to do is I want to have a segment called Shelf by Shelf, and I want to pick all my small shelves that I have and tackle them one by one. I have, I think, maybe 4 I could tackle for next year. It doesn't mean I'm going to get through all of them, but that's kind of like the idea. And so I thought in between tackling each of those shelves, I might pick an author and still do like an author focus. James Baldwin is on one of those small shelves, so I'm basically still kind of do like an author focus for that one, but all the other ones are like a variety of different authors. And for instance, I'll include photos, but I also have a shelf above over here where most of the topic is related to Mexico, and so I thought, well, that's a shelf I could tackle. And right behind me over here is more about regionalism and LGBTQ plus issues, and I have a whole other shelf that's just a complete variety, like none of it makes sense. And then, like I mentioned before, there's a whole other shelf where it's James Baldwin, and then also on that same shelf is a bunch of books that are focused on books or library related. And so even though not on purpose, I'm still kind of finding like themes to tackle. Anyways, this is very long-winded, but I just felt like in terms of time constraint, I also just want to put less pressure on myself. Nobody does it. It's me. I do it to myself. And so I'm kind of like trying to tackle between a mood read, but also kind of make it fun. So that's why the inclusion of shelf by shelf. So that's basically where I stand there. So in that way, I think I might skip TBR videos and use the community tab to just inform you, the viewers, what I'm currently reading in case you're not on Instagram. And I haven't made a decision. If I do it shelf by shelf, I thought instead of doing like wrap-ups, what I could do is I could make the individual book chats, which I really like. I kind of want to go back to that, just like dig deep and talk about each book. And then maybe not do a wrap-up because nothing's really going to like connect to each other necessarily. I can't make up my mind, but I kind of need to let go of like idealism and do things that are more functioning. And I want to do that because I also don't think that I really stuck to the idea of reading less in service of making better quality. And I think that's also part of what I wanted to do was also in the community tab, but I haven't actually, it wouldn't be community, it would be shorts. I was thinking that maybe for each book I do a book chat. Maybe in the short section, what I'll do is I'll just do a quick summary and like what I like and dislike about the book and keep it like short and sweet, which will give me a chance to learn to be more concise. And then my full length videos will just be me kind of like deep diving into each chapter, like creating a breakdown of a book. That just seems like it makes more sense. It might work better time-wise. And also if I'm tackling shelf by shelf, hopefully I'll just pressure myself less, if that makes any sense. On top of that, I may be involved with 2 book clubs. TBD. I'm gonna do a book club, like a romance thing with my friends. So that's 1 book a month. Will definitely be a romance for next year. And then I have a lovely human being in my life that offered to maybe do a book club that has to do with like social justice, which I'm very interested in doing. But time is flying by, and yeah, I have to get myself organized. And the more I think about that, the more I realize maybe next year should just be a mood read for kind of like the baseline of what I read. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. So yeah, those are my very fluid goals. And oh, also one more thing before I forget. Next year, if not starting at the end of this month, I wanted to start doing reading and productivity sprints. I'm not sure what to call it. Basically, I just know that I will be reading during those sprints, but I want everyone to feel like comfortable doing whatever they want. And it's going to be late night and it's going to be impromptu. So I will be maybe just announcing it on Instagram if I do it. Because there's plenty of other people that do sprints, but it's during hours when I'm working, so I can't really attend. Sometimes I'll like enter in just so I don't feel like I'm by myself at work, you know, so it helps me stay productive. But you know, I can't host or participate in any way during those hours. So, and also there's a couple of other people that do sprints, but they do it like right when I get off work, and I'm so overwhelmed and I'm just not in the right headspace. So the best time for me to do sprints and stuff is like super late at night, and I just feel like I haven't really noticed anybody else doing sprints super late. So I thought that would be a good like opportunity to fill in a gap of a need, maybe if anybody else is up like crazy late like me, because I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm a single parent, so I work from home, and then I'm the parent of a teenager, and by the time I'm done settling down, it's 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And so when I do read, it's really late up until the morning, and then I sleep for a couple hours, and then I just do the whole thing over and over again. So that's kind of where I'm at. Okay, finally, I'm done. Goals are talked about. Subscribe, please. Like, please. Comment below. If you have any suggestions, please chime in. I need all the suggestions you could possibly offer. I appreciate it. I love you all, and I'll talk to you later.